Guys, it's me, Lil Ninja, back with another video, and today we're doing What If Deku Had a Minecraft Quirk Part 1, and this is your 1 hour special for this holiday, for this great Christmas day, and I hope you like this video, because I have been trying to get this video out, and I haven't been able to upload some of my other videos, so those will come out next week. So like this video I tried to upload on Thursday. Well, it's technically that the Thursday video was supposed to be up on Wednesday. But enough of that. You guys, I want you guys to keep subscribing, and if you aren't subscribed yet, subscribe, because we're still trying to get to 500 and 300 subscribers. So what are you doing? Get into my pool of subscribers. And without further ado, let's get into the video. It's Little Ninja time. We start with Deku being a baby. Actually, no, we start with Deku like we always. He is 4 years old, and he is just about to get his quirk, and he is going to school when he notices both of his hands, and he sees basically 3 squares on each arm. And once he sees those squares, nobody else can see the squares, so Deku just thinks he is like imagining it and thinks like he doesn't really mind it. Plus, he doesn't really think that it's a quirk, so he just leaves it alone until he walks up to a tree. And then once he is near the tree, a thing pops up saying, would he like to mine the tree? And it would say skill unlock, block breaking. And he would use a skill, and he would learn how to use the skill. And he would be thinking this is cool, so he decides to break the tree with faster than anyone could break the tree. And then in his one of the squares, he would see a block version of the tree, which would have been oak wood, and he would have pressed the oak wood on his left arm, and he would see that the oak wood is in his left arm. Then he would keep breaking the tree, and he would see it would go to his right arm. And then he would press the right arm, and he would have two things. He would have 2 things at the same time. Yes, I am giving him 2 inventories because he has 2 hands. Why not just give him 2 inventories? So yeah, meaning he has double the amount that a regular Minecraft person would have. So yeah, also I'll be adding my own different types of items in this story, so that's going to be a plus as well. Izuku would begin to look at his quirk, and he would be grateful, and he would another skill would pop up saying Minecraft eyes, and he would open Minecraft eyes, and then he would see basically everything that looks like Minecraft. Of course, he can still see everyone else inside the school, and it just looks like a blocky version of where he used to be at. He sees blocks now, but nobody else can see this. This is only inside of him. He's the only one that can see the blocks. And Izuku would also not just see blocks, he would also see mobs. Mobs like the sheep and cow, and basically sheep and cow and pigs, sometimes pigs, because he's in a school area. Since that would technically be a village area, they don't have that many pigs, so I mean they don't have that many sheep, so there's not that many sheep or many pigs. There's mainly only cows. So yeah, and horses, but that's all he sees: horses and cows, and sometimes sheep and pigs. He would look around, seeing that he can also turn off the Minecraft eyes, making the world regular. He can still use, basically, he's turning the game on and off. He can only see the game, and the game can only interact with him. He will sustain damage if he is hit by a creeper or something like a zombie. And yeah, Izuku Also, once the game is off, nothing can hurt him. The mobs don't exist while the game is not activated. he can still use his inventory. He can use the items in his inventory that he had before the game was started. But as soon as he levels up, he will not be able to break things like he does. He will be able to bring his items that he has in his inventory to the real world, but when his game is on, he can't break anything like in the actual game. So the way he broke the tree, to him, it looked like he actually broke the tree, but once he turns his Minecraft eyes off, it will not look like he broke the tree. It will just look like a regular tree. But when he turns it back on, the regular tree won't respawn. It will just stay like that. He already mined it, and it will stay like that. The game basically saved. So yeah, Izuku would show this to his friends, and he would place the block down. And if Izuku leaves it there for like about an hour, the block would disappear. But if he left it, the items would be much faster. It would disappear in 30 minutes. So yeah, Izuku would look, and he would say, and he would try to explain his quirk the best that he can, and the teachers would be amazed that Izuku has a good quirk, and Bakugo would just say it's not better than his quirk. And Izuku would put a box over Katsuki, and Katsuki would try to break out the blocks until an hour later when recess is over and the blocks would disappear and Bakugo would be exploding, and he would say, "Never put me in a box again," and he would just be very, 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 very mad at Deku. He would call him Minecraft Boy because Minecraft does actually exist in this universe, and when he goes to the quirk doctor, it's a different quirk doctor because, like in my other videos, like I said, that quirk doctor that he had before, that quirk doctor worked for all for one. So yeah, Izuku has a different quirk doctor, which is how this quirk wasn't taken from him, which is my explanation for all my other quirk what ifs. So yeah, Izuku would look at the quirk doctor and would ask what his quirk is, and the quirk doctor would explain his quirk on the same depth that I explained his quirk. And the quirk doctor would explain that as Izuku gets stronger, he will be able to hold more items and would have a bigger inventory. Right now, he only has 3 slots on each side, so that just means he will only be able to hold. Since this is also based off of Minecraft, he would also say that he will only be able to hold 64 items in each slot. Also, this will not be retained to like things like a sword, that he can only hold 1 sword in 1 slot. So yeah, Izuku would let me think. Oh, and also another thing is Izuku's body does not move when he basically turns the game on. His body will stay there. Well, for like when he turns it off, his body, all of that basically happened in a nanosecond. So 1 hour for him is basically a nanosecond, and that would be like basically giving him enough time to mine a bunch of things in like 1 hour. But for the outside world, that's a nanosecond, and no one else even knows that he mined anything. And just because his body doesn't move mean that he won't be like wandering around the whole earth at once. So yeah, Izuku would go home happy and would decide to train with his quirk, and kept just bringing it up like Bakugo would do. And Izuku's mom would not like this, and she would tell him to not become like Bakugo because she does not want Izuku to become entitled like Bakugo was going to become. And this is like when he is 7. So Izuku, this would be explained to Izuku over the years, and Izuku would finally take it to heart and not stop being like Bakugo and start being more humble to get our regular Izuku mind back. Instead of him not being confident, he is way more confident than he ever was inside the original canon events. Izuku would decide to basically train even more of his quirk, and he would be doing great in his studies. And at this point, he would have all 9 slots on each side. 6 slots on one side and 6 slots on the other. Izuku, and then we would time skip. Time skips, I love them because they make everything easier. We would time skip to the actual point in the anime, and Izuku would be not showing off his quirk. He would be getting his test and would think he's definitely going to UA. And Bakugo, as per usual, did not like this. Would not like that one more person is coming to UA. See, in this one, Todoroki is in, not Todoroki. Kirishima is in their school. And Bakugo did not like that Midoriya was coming to UA because Bakugo sees Kirishima as a rival, and Kirishima sees Bakugo as a rival. But Kirishima isn't like Bakugo saying like Izuku can't come to UA. Izuku would just stand up for himself saying that I'm going to UA and you can't do nothing about it, Explodey boy. And Bakugo would just be even more mad because thinking that he's technically right. And Izuku would just smirk and would walk away. And Izuku would go under the same bridge that he would in canon, and the sludge villain would try to attack him. Izuku would open up his inventory, seeing what he had. He had a few ender pearls, like 3 ender pearls, and 2 diamonds, a little bit of iron, and some sticks, because he didn't know how to make weapons. He just had a crafting table that he didn't know how to use the crafting table because he never played Minecraft. And Izuku would decide to start up the game so that he can do this in a nanosecond because he didn't really have any time. He would place the crafting table down and would open it, and he would see a bunch of crafting recipes that he unlocked but didn't know he unlocked. And he would use the diamonds and the sticks to make a sword, and he would use cobblestone. He would have cobblestone ready in his left hand and the sword ready in his right. And he would stop the game and would basically build a whole barrier around the sludge villain, basically containing him. He would also stop with the cobblestone and would grab a glass bottle and, 2 glass bottles. He would throw them at the sludge villain, and the sludge villain would be captured inside the glass bottles. Izuku, seeing that he didn't even have to use his sword, he would put it away and would be basically ready for the next day. All Might would come and would take the bottles with All Might's touch, turning them into regular bottles of water. And not regular bottles of water, regular bottles like plastic bottles. Since the items were touched by All Might and they were already on the brink of turning back into, actually no, they stayed into their regular bottle form. They will since they have the sludge villain in them, they will turn into regular bottles. Actually no, they will just disappear and let the sludge villain out. And they would also, All Might would put him in a quirk canceling cage so that way he can't get out. Izuku would go back home and would use the 10 months to train with his quirk. And no, Izuku will not be getting all one for all. Bakugo will, and Izuku will help him because All Might would decide to tell Izuku about one for all and would tell Bakugo that he needs to start changing his act. Instead of acting all high and mighty, he has to act a little bit more like Deku, because originally All Might was going to give it to Deku, but Deku rejected it because he said he already had an OP quirk. And that is basically true. He already has an OP quirk because I'm about to give him something that will probably make him too OP. Izuku would be training with Bakugo, and Bakugo would be cleaning up the beach with Izuku having the game half on, so that way Izuku will gain the super strength but won't be able to see the mobs because it's half on. So there's basically 3 modes: off, half on, and on. On is when everything is basically happening in a nanosecond and nobody else can see this but Deku. Half on is when Izuku can mine things and has his super strength like a regular Minecraft person, because there's no way someone could use that amount of time that Steve uses to basically punch wood and craft items out of a crafting bench. So half on is what Izuku usually has on, and off is when Izuku, like, it's fully off and Izuku can't place anything or do anything. Half on is when he has his inventory and can basically do everything, so he has super strength and stuff. So Izuku would turn his basically game half on and would use his super strength to start pushing the stuff out the way. Izuku would also spar with Bakugo and train so that way they can basically get stronger and use their quirks better. Izuku would just be finding out about half on and off, because he usually always had he usually always had his quirk off and turned it on, so he didn't really. What am I saying? He always had that. I'm trying to think, because I'm everywhere at this point. Izuku would use his quirk to basically train with Bakugo, and then we will time skip to the entrance exams. Bakugo basically is still Bakugo, but like he's basically better. He's not going to be doing stupid things like saying everybody's an extra. He will still be giving people nicknames though. I need like at least some parts of Bakugo to stay, and he's not going to be fully entitled like he used to be. He will not be like what was it? He will not be saying like things like that. Izuku will decide to go in by himself with Bakugo sitting somewhere else, still with them being the trio of rivals, because Kirishima is here too, but Kirishima doesn't know about One for All. Kirishima and Bakugo would be rivals, with Midoriya being an extra rival, with those three being the main rivals instead of Todoroki. So yeah, I replaced Todoroki. What you gonna do about it? Izuku would be getting the second place on the writing portion of the exams, while Bakugo would get third, Kirishima getting fourth, and Momo getting first. Izuku would go to the gate of the practical exams, with Bakugo and Kirishima coming as well. And Izuku would look at both of them and then smirk, and he would turn his game half on. With him being ready, him not being, wait a second, let me think, clearing things up. Oh yeah, he can drop things, but he can't, things that are in the real world, he cannot mine and put them in his inventory. He can break them though, but they will reappear in the real world. He can break things and they will stay broken, but he can't put them inside of his inventory like he would inside of a full-on game. So the things inside the real world cannot be put inside of his inventory. They can be broken though. Izuku would rush in and start breaking a bunch of robots with his diamond sword. And he would start mining a hole and would use a lava bucket. Yes, he has a lava bucket because he was training and he would be up late night playing Minecraft, basically. And he would use the lava bucket to push a bunch of robots in. All of those students would try to avoid the lava pool, basically, and would just keep going, thinking like this guy has a weird quirk. And then the teachers would look at their papers and would see that Midoriya's quirk, Minecraft, and they would be looking at Aizawa saying, "What?" And a couple of the teachers say, "Why are you calling out a very successful game?" And Aizawa would not know what they were talking about, and Aizawa would say that's the name of his quirk, Minecraft. And then they would be like that explains the lava bucket. and they would just keep watching. With Izuku, basically destroying as many robots as he can, and Bakugo trying to show him up with One for All and his explosions, with Kirishima trying to do the same with his hardening quirk. And Izuku would basically destroy more robots than both of them combined, getting 200 robots, with his diamond sword breaking, having to create a new one fast. Yes, things that he placed in the real world, if he's out of range, they will disappear. That's what I'm gonna say. If he's out of range of them, they will disappear, instead of if he's like it has a time limit of like 30 minutes or something. If he's out of range, they will disappear. So he would place a crafting table down and would make a iron sword fast, and would get the crafting table back up and would start slashing at more robots, deciding to stop since he thinks that there needs to be more for the other people. And a minute would go by, and Izuku would see the giant 0-pointer. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I had to do this for like 40 more minutes. So yeah. Izuku would be looking at the 0-pointer, seeing that Oraka is under some rubble, and would be going under the rubble Izuku would slash the rubble to get Oraka out of the rubble, and would give Oraka to Recovery Girl. Recovery Girl would heal her sprain, with Izuku going back to destroy the robot, but thinking he can't destroy that thing and he needs something more powerful. And then something would pop up. New skill unlocked. Creative mode. And yes, I know what you're thinking. Why am I giving him creative mode this far into the thing? But here's the thing. I am going to be giving him a time limit that will be set forever of 30 minutes. He cannot go past 30 minutes of creative mode. That is the time limit until he like evolves his quirk or something. But I'm probably not going to do that because I'm probably too lazy to do that. Izuku would use this thing called creative mode, and would fly up, and would begin to send a bunch of Endermen at it, with everyone actually being able to see the Enderman. And no, he's not able to use creative mode inside of his gameplay. That would be cheating a little bit. But of course, it's already cheating if he is using creative mode inside of real life as well. Izuku would use creative mode to summon a bunch of Endermen and a bunch of creepers, with all of them just destroying the robot and then disappearing when he snapped his fingers. And with that, creative mode would stop, and the entrance exams would stop as well. It's only been like 2 minutes and I'm already spitting out a bunch of ideas. Why do I do this to myself? For views, I guess. Izuku would go back home with Katsuki showing him the letter at his door, with Kirishima also being there, with all of them being surprised that Midoriya got first, with Bakugo being surprised as well as Kirishima. Then we time skip to, oh my goodness, what should I do? Then we time skip to when they go to school, and then all of them see the giant door, and then they would proceed to sit down, and Aizawa would tell them to quiet down, with all the students listening to Aizawa, and Aizawa would point them to the direction of the lockers so that they can change into their gym uniforms. And Aizawa would explain the test at testing site E. Izuku would be prepared for this, like insanely prepared for this, and Izuku would be the first up. Izuku would use his half-on state to basically chuck the ball into space, And I know what you're thinking. You shouldn't be able to do that inside of regular Minecraft. Yeah, but like he's more powerful than regular Minecraft, so he chucks the ball into space, gaining him an infinite. So yeah, Izuku would Aizawa would sit Izuku down, and Aizawa would then explain the test more vividly. There would be basically a round of physical tests that you can use your quirks with, and basically, Aizawa would say, whoever's last will get expelled. And this time, I'm making Aizawa basically truthful at this. He has seen potential in all of them, so he will not be doing that. Aizawa would, the test would be start and end just like that, because I'm skipping, because I don't feel like doing that. And Izuku would get first, Katsuki would get second, Kirishima getting fourth, and Todoroki getting third. With the last one being Invisible Girl, and second to last being what is his name? Mineta. Yeah, second to last being Mineta. So yeah, Izuku would we time skip to the freaking duo teams. Izuku, we skip to the next day with everyone being excited for their first hero class, and Izuku would be the most excited, with him knowing that All Might will be the one teaching them, with All Might bursting through the door and everyone just being surprised. All Might would direct them to the duo team thing with heroes and villains. Izuku would be on a team with Oraka. Everything is canon for this. Or it's Oraka and Bakugo Ida. Izuku would use creative mode to finish. Actually, no, I'm not gonna just give him creative mode to use everything. I'll also say creative mode needs a charge up and a entrance fee of 3 diamonds, which he did have inside. Actually, no. Actually, yeah, 3 diamonds and 5 iron, which he will need to do creative mode every time. So yeah. And on top of that, he does have a time limit, so he didn't have the iron because he used the rest of the iron to make another sword, because it did break as well as the diamonds. He used that to make a diamond sword that he will save after the iron sword breaks. Izuku would rush in and start to look around. He would tell Oraka to float this he would give Oraka an ender pearl, and he would tell her to float it up to the top floor. And Oraka would listen and float the ender pearl to the top floor, and Izuku would grab onto Oraka, with Oraka looking at Izuku, and then they would teleport, and he would let go of Oraka. Oraka would think, oh, so that's what that thing did. And Izuku would break through the top floor and would touch the bomb, giving their team the win, so that they won. Basically, they won. Now, what am I gonna do next? We time skip to a week later, the USJ. Everyone would be talking about who has the strongest quirk inside of their class, and everyone would say Midoriya. It's definitely Midoriya. And Sue would try to say Bakugo, but then she would think more, and then she would correct herself and say Midoriya. Midoriya is the strongest one with the strongest quirk. There's no way that Izuku does not have the strongest quirk, because I'm making this too OP, and I'm only giving like a few side backs to his quirk. So y'all better be basically happy. Izuku would learn to always keep a couple of diamonds and a couple of iron on him, just in case he ever needed to use creative mode. That was hard to say. Mm. Izuku would what am I doing again? Oh yeah. Izuku would step off of the bus with everyone looking at the USJ, and everyone would go in, and Izuku would step forward with him being the first one seeing the portal, and he would say, "I didn't know that you guys were using prop villains," and Aizawa would say, "We're not." And Aizawa would direct 13 to get all the students out of here, but Kurogiri would lock the doors and would start sending people to different places. With Izuku being able to dodge and would not use creative mode yet because he didn't think it would be that he would need creative mode. Izuku would throw an Eren Pearl directly at the center of the USJ and would start taking down villains, with Aizawa being right beside him, taking down villains as well. Izuku being able to start, Izuku would start using his swords and axes to take them down, with Izuku unlocking a new crafting recipe at the start of it. And Izuku would see the crafting recipe, and it would say katana. Izuku would look at the crafting recipe with its needing a metal rod, which would be made by a stick in the middle and two iron ingots at the end and the top of the stick. With Izuku crafting all the materials, he also needs 2 iron ingots, so he made sure to use. He had enough iron, so yeah. Izuku would use these iron ingots to basically make 2 katanas, and they look like Minecraft katanas, so yeah. Izuku would use the Minecraft katanas to basically start taking down more villains, and they would all be basically knocked out. Whew. Izuku would, oh my goodness, I haven't talked for this long in a while. Izuku would be taking down more and more villains, with Aizawa getting more and more tired, and Izuku would hand him an Ender Pearl, and Aizawa would use the Ender Pearl to take a rest on the stairs, with Aizawa knowing that Izuku can handle the rest since he has that creative mode thing. Izuku would start bashing more villains. In that moment, he would start his full game, and since he needed to do a bunch of more stuff. Izuku would take down a couple of Endermen, a couple of creepers, and a couple of zombies, with Izuku using more of the items, and would get another new recipe, which would be hammer. It would be a hammer, which he would need dense iron, dense iron ingots, iron rods, and a stick. He would use the dense iron ingots and an iron rod and a stick to create the hammer, and would use that hammer to basically bash them with one hit and knocking all them out, with him also using the Ender Pearls to take a bunch of them out as well, with him just teleporting them back to wherever they came from, with them trying to go back but with him just using the infinite loop technique. And I know what you're thinking, you don't know what the infinite loop technique is. I really don't care. I'm just making stuff up here. I don't know why, I just am. Izuku would keep using the Ender Pearls to pop up under people so that he can knock them out easily and efficiently, with Shigaraki still getting even more mad, with Izuku deciding to turn full game on again so that he can get some more Ender Pearls because he doesn't want to run out. Izuku would start to see a bunch of more things, more crafting recipes being unlocked, like potions, but potions are mainly the only things that are being unlocked right now. Izuku would look at the potions, and he would see potion of speed, potion of heal, potion of poison, and he would start gathering the items and the potion thing to make his potions. He would decide to make the potions and would use all the items to his benefit. That way he would use these potions, and he would go into half game mode, and he would throw poison potions, which would immediately start going into their effects and start hurting the villains. With all the low level villains retreating, with Shigaraki trying to punch Izuku, but Izuku would finally decide to use creative mode. Izuku would gather a bunch of items that will, like I said, disappear once creative mode is off. He would use a portal to send Shigaraki to the Nether, and then would send him back into the ocean, and then would send him to the end, and then would send him back into the earth, with Shigaraki just being scarred, and Kurogiri teleporting both Shigaraki and himself out of the USJ, with Izuku using his last moments to get everybody out of their places, and Aizawa and the heroes will cover this up so that way they won't ever have to deal with it again. We time skip to a week later. Aizawa has just told the students about the UA Sports Festival. Yeah, that. He has just told them about the UA Sports Festival, with all of them training, but the only one not training would be Izuku, since he has been asleep for that whole week, and he would just be waking up and going to school thinking it's only been a day. And Aizawa would explain the UA Sports Festival to him, and he would immediately get sent to the UA Sports Festival hangar or something, and he would be the one doing the speech, since he did get first in the entrance exams. Woo! That was hard to say. Well, not hard to say. That just said a lot in those few seconds. Izuku would be not really saying anything important with the not entrance exams, with the I'm probably not gonna like doing 1 hour specials anymore. If I keep getting tired after I hit like the 40 or 30 mark, probably only gonna be doing 30 specials from now on. I'm just joking. I'll keep doing 1 hour specials just for the views. I need the views and the likes and the subscribes. So this is a little reminder. Like and subscribe, because we are still trying to get to 300 and 400. I said 400. 500 subscribers, and I will be uploading, when we get to 300, I will be uploading another 1 hour special, and when we get to 500, I'll probably do 2 or 1. Most likely 1, because I don't think I ever want to do 2 1 hour specials at one day. I don't feel like doing that. The only reason why I'm doing this one is because it has to be on Christmas, and it's already Christmas, and I'm doing this on Christmas. Izuku would basically Midnight would explain everything that has to happen during the sports festival, and Midnight would spin the wheel, and she would say the race. Izuku, not even needing to use he would use the nanosecond to basically get a horse egg, and I'm giving him the ability to have the crafting recipe for a horse egg, and he would use the horse egg to basically he would put a speed potion on the horse egg, and he would put the level of 10. Yes, there will be more levels of potions and stuff, so yeah. The horse will be very, 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 very fast. Izuku would use this horse egg as soon as the cavalry race would start, and would spawn the horse and would basically get there first in like basically 30 seconds. 30 seconds, I'm saying 30 seconds. That's how long it took him to get to the finishing spot. I don't know. Everyone else would be into basically everyone else would be passing the finish line, with Bakugo being third, Todoroki being second, and Kirishima being fourth. And I know what you're thinking, why is Todoroki coming up in second if Bakugo has those propelling explosions and he's supposed to be the rival for Kirishima and Izuku? The reason is Todoroki and Bakugo are basically the same level at this point. With Todoroki, besides with Todoroki not using his fire, because it's at that point in the show, he's still not using his fire. Izuku would decide that he has to make Todoroki use his fire, because he already knows about the fire. And Izuku would actually know how to make flint and steel. So then it would be the cavalry battle, with Izuku using the same team as in canon, but him holding them up for the 30 when the 30 mark hits, so that way the other half of the hour they will be safe forever. And then they would keep their 1 billion points, because I feel like they should have kept that instead of losing it. I didn't like that part in the anime. So yeah, of course the main character, sometimes have to have problems, but not all the time. Like, don't make it all the time him have problems. That doesn't seem right. Izuku, I got like 20 minutes left, and I don't feel like going to the 20 minutes, but I have to, because it's Christmas. It's Christmas. Oh my goodness. What was I gonna do again? Oh yeah, Izuku's first battle would be against Shinso, which Izuku didn't answer Shinso, so he easily won, with his next fight being against Todoroki. I'm ignoring all the other fights because I really don't care. So yeah, Todoroki would actually pick up more of a fight, with Todoroki trying to throw a few punches before Izuku would finally say the thing that helped Todoroki use his fire. And with Todoroki using his fire, Izuku would start using flint and steel to make a firewall. And the flint and steel would be way more OP, because I'm giving him another recipe that gives him OP flint and steel. Yes, I know what you're thinking. I'm just giving him recipes for anything at this point. And yes, you were right. I'm giving him recipes for anything. Anything at this point. Izuku would also be able to use ice shards to make a freaking ice sword in that 1 millisecond, because he didn't feel like going into full game mode. He would use the ice sword to break through Todoroki's ice, with it eventually breaking, because I would say it has a little bit higher defense than gold, but a little lower than like iron. So yeah. Actually, no, it has a little higher. It's basically in the middle of diamond and iron. So yeah. But it does pack more damage than diamond. It just has lower defense. That's pretty good. Izuku would use the rest of the time to push Todoroki out of the thing, so that way he will win. The next battle with Izuku is against Bakugo Katsuki. Bakugo Katsuki, Bakugo would use One for All immediately to try to push Deku out or knock him out, while Izuku would use his armor to basically use that to defend with defense, and would be able to take the hits from Bakugo, with Izuku deciding to use his 2 hammers and would finally knock Bakugo out. And I finally decided that this is where I'm going to leave it off, even though it's not 1 hour. This will not be a 1 hour special. It will be a Christmas special though. And maybe next Christmas special, I'll make it more Christmas related. And it will be a one-time 1 hour special. Meaning like that will be like, it's basically a full series and that will be it. And is where I will leave it off. And I hope you have a holly jolly holiday. And I will see you later. Ninja says bye.